What's up, guys? So, I'm back with another draft. I haven't done one in a little while. This one's actually not a mock draft. It's my real live draft for fantasy hockey this year. As you guys can see, I'm doing it on ESPN, not on Yahoo. I'm a bigger fan of ESPN overall. Really just for any sport. But yeah, so I got the 9th pick in the draft. Hopefully let a few guys slip. The rankings on here are vastly different from Yahoo. If you guys saw some of my drafts before, you do drafts on Yahoo. You can obviously see that Stamkos is a lot lower. Giroux's a lot higher. Johansson's a lot higher than he is on Yahoo. It's weird to see him that high. Malkin's high. Yeah, it's a big change up, but like I said, I like it in multiple looks on all the mock drafts that I do. So I did do a few on ESPN unrecorded, but I thought I would record you guys my main mock draft, my main live draft, just because this one actually matters. This one is I'll be paying full attention to whoever I draft, and just this kind of shows the way that I like to do drafts strategy wise. So this is obviously my first and only live draft of the year for fantasy hockey. I'll probably do a fantasy basketball draft within the next couple days and get that posted too. I think I've only done one of each so far, maybe two of each. So figured that I would get you guys a little bit better look. So first 4 players taken: Seguin, Crosby, Tavares, and Ovechkin. Not much of a surprise. That's the normal way it goes. I do like seeing how far Jamie Benn slides down some boards, though, because a lot of people don't think he's the 4th best player in the NHL, which, I mean, is understandable. I don't either. I personally think he's maybe the 7th or 8th. I would take Tarasenko, Giroux, Price, and I'd say even Stamkos, Kane, and Malkin before I'd take Jamie Benn off the draft board. They do have Malkin rated pretty low, but not the same player he was a couple years ago. It'll be interesting to see if he can get back to his 35-40 goal form per season. I think once the Penguins get back to, or if they ever do, get back to being one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the East, then I think that'll not only make Malkin better, I think they'll be better because Malkin is back to his original form. So this season is coming up. I believe it's opening night, and opening night's either Friday or Saturday. So I'm pretty excited for hockey to be back. I've been paying kind of close attention to the regular season. I've been paying attention to my Blue Jackets and also the Hurricanes. But we'll be at opening night for the Hurricanes on Saturday night, which is pretty cool. Oh no, it does start. Oh, it starts Wednesday. Okay. So yes, it does start Wednesday. My bad. And I believe, yes, first game is Montreal and Toronto. Rangers, Chicago, Vancouver, Calgary, and San Jose, Los Angeles also that night. So pretty good night to kick off the season. Sad thing is, where I'm going to college, hockey's not that big, so it's hard to catch any games on TV. All right. Something that I don't really do that often, but I think he's the clear best player on the board. Take a goalie first, Carey Price, and it looks like I'll be able to snag either Kane, Malkin, Johansson, one of those guys with my next pick. It's a pretty deep year forward-wise, and ESPN does make you take 5 defensemen, so I'll probably let goalies slide for quite a while after this. But, you know, defense starts falling off the board pretty fast after round 3 or 4. I think I haven't done a mock draft on ESPN in a few weeks. Johansson slid up the board a little bit since then, so I think it'll be interesting to see where he goes in most drafts. Taking Lundqvist pretty early off the board also. Let's fight Patrick Kane. I wonder what Taves is on here. $59. Wow. Okay, so Johansson was swiped off the board right after my pick. Just scroll down so you guys get just a summary of what the picks were in round 1. So Ovechkin first, Tavares, Crosby, Seguin, Ben, Stamkos, Giroux, Tarasenko. I took Carey Price, and then I'm getting Malkin. So in that sense, it looks a lot like Yahoo. Kind of the same first round. I don't really notice anything vastly different. Stamkos a little bit further down, but he was still taken 6th overall, so not bad. And some goalies are starting to fly off pretty early. Lundqvist was taken at 11, and then Pekka was just taken at 15. They do have some of the goalies rated pretty high on here. I got Holtby at 21. Looks like Bobrovsky at 27. I think with a full year of Bobrovsky healthy, then he'll get back into his Vezina contender form. I'm not entirely sure about guys like Jonathan Quick and Ben Bishop, though. I believe they're good playoff goalies, but I especially Ben Bishop, I don't know. I never ever picked a goalie because they had a hot playoff streak the year before. Tends not to work out very well for me. I'm always a big fan of a guy like Marc-Andre Fleury, though. I mean, obviously not always great in the playoffs, but always a good regular season goalie. That's all you need him for. So Connor McDavid off the board pretty early also. Yahoo McDavid was flying off around 38 or 40, so he's been a lot higher on ESPN. They do have a lot of the goalies ranked very high, though. Block at, 35? 36. He will rack up the wins for you, though. You can see the Islanders having a pretty big season this year. There we go. Slide down to the defense right quick. So, like I said, you start getting around the point where you start taking Yandel, Letang, Carlson. They really start flying off the board. So, if you do have a couple guys that you think, or a couple guys down in maybe the 200-300s ranked that you think will have big seasons, some good sleepers, then definitely, take those guys when you can. But if not, then you might want to snag a defenseman too early, especially if they slip in the 3rd or 4th round. Maybe if you can grab a guy like PK Subban in the 3rd round, Erik Karlsson, then definitely do so. Tough to come by defensive points when you wait till the 6th, 7th, or 8th round to start getting your top-tier defenseman. So maybe taking Carey Price in the 1st round wasn't such a bad idea. Goalies really are flying off pretty early. I'm probably not going to take a defenseman this early, but if Duncan Keith does slip to like round 5, then yeah. And obviously, the biggest difference between ESPN and Yahoo is just the overall roster format. I'm kind of surprised they don't require 3 goalies. I mean, in a 10-team league, I guess I can understand, but if you're playing like an 8-team league, I could see 3 goalies making sense. They do have a lot of forwards, and they do have 1 more defenseman and a utility. I don't really understand the point of the utility, but if you can, in Yahoo, they actually have it separated out by position. When you get to forwards, you got to get your right wing, left wing, center, and they just do a plain winger. And I believe you also have to do 2 forwards, so a little bit different layout. Alright. This one's tough. Alright guys, so just took Logan Couture. The guy who I was looking for was taken like 2 picks before me. See if I can maybe snag Gabriel Landeskog in the 2nd round. So I got a pretty good start on my offense. Start looking towards defense the next round. Like I said, they probably won't, but if a guy like Shattenkirk, Duncan Keith will slip to me in the 5th round, maybe an Alex Pietrangelo, that'll be a good start for my defense. I like having a good top 3, and then, you know, find some guys on waivers as the year goes along. They got some pretty generous projections for Johnny Gaudreau. You know, you guys, obviously, if you're a big hockey fan, let me know what your favorite team is, how you think they're going to do this year. Like I said, I always like to hear that in the comments, but I believe Columbus gets the start to their season on Friday, against the Rangers. So, a little bit late start to the season for them. I would think it bounced back pretty good. Alright, so Shea Weber was just taken. So is Kucherov. Keith too. Like I said, I think around round 5 is when a lot of people start having a defenseman fly off the board. That's another guy, Kopitar, that is very high on Yahoo draft boards. I believe he's inside the top 20, and you can see he's taken at pick 42 there. And see if Shattenkirk will get to me. Brent Burns is rated a lot lower than 43 or whatever he was on Yahoo too. If not for Ekman-Larsson's horrible plus minus, he'd be a pretty solid pick. It's just he's on the wrong team. He's a good number 1 defenseman for them though. I mean, I guess if you got a lot of guys who got a solid plus minus already, and you can afford it to be hurt. You need some extra goals on defense. He's a good guy to pick up. Ekblad, I think, will kind of be the same deal. Dang. All right. Snag Nathan MacKinnon. Alright, then if he's still there, then I'll go ahead and pick up Pietrangelo. It might be a little bit early for him, but I want to go ahead and get a good start on my defense. If I could trust him to be healthy for an entire season, I'd take Letang, but it's not going to happen. Go ahead and look through some of the other teams right quick. Guys got some pretty solid goalies so far. Let me go ahead and see who's still available at goalie. Maybe snag a Luongo or Martin Jones down the line. Actually, Steve Mason, if he's still available with that. I don't think he's going to make it 10 more picks. It's also hard to see Steve Mason having as good a season as he did last year. Had an up and down career. I'm also a believer in Frederik Andersen this year. I think he'll have a better season. Kind of had a rough playoff streak at the end, but I think he'll be fine. Alright, so it looks like some guys might be leaving the draft already. I'm probably going to give you guys just a view of like the first, I'd say 10 or 12 rounds like I normally do, and then just post the complete recap in the description. It'll be a really long video if I go through all, what is it? I think it's like 15, 20 rounds. So more than 15. Yeah, so I know that with Yahoo you only get 30 seconds a pick, and then with ESPN you get a full minute and a half, so the drafts take a lot longer. Normally when I end up getting a top tier goalie like Carey Price or Lundqvist, I end up doing a plug and play with my second goalie. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't really try to do a plug and play with my second goalie. One of the things that I like doing in my mock drafts was do something like pick up Eddie Lack and then Cam Ward, and I think they're both solid goalies for Carolina, and then whatever goalie is starting that night, especially if they got a good matchup, go and plug them in. I think another good one to do is John Gibson and Frederik Andersen, but it's really just whatever goalies you have trust in. Andrew Hammond would be a good one to throw in with Craig Anderson too. Andrew Hammond had a really good stretch at the end of the season last year. Oh. Alright, well, Steve Mason was just taken, so I'm not big on Martin Jones. Take Petr Mrazek. See if I can get Ekman-Larsson with the next pick. Either him or John Carlson. Cool. Pietrangelo will have a pretty good plus-minus balance out Ekman-Larsson's terrible one. So, hopefully that balances each other out. I like that pick, Brandon Saad. I think a line with him and Johansson this year is going to be real solid. See if maybe I can snag a guy like Patrick Sharp or something like that. There's some guys down a little bit lower on the defenseman list that I'd be comfortable taking. Cam Fowler, Nick Leddy, Brent Seabrook, Chara, those sort of guys. I think with a full off season, Chara has enough rest that he'll at least he'll look a little bit younger, at least in the first half of the season. I think Boston will be better this year too. Might want to snag another goalie too. Shore up the depth a little bit. Well, Ekblad was just taken, so let's snag Ryan O'Reilly. And I think I'll finish off with Ryan McDonagh. Alright guys, like I said, I'm only going to do 10 rounds in the video. It would be way too long to do anything more. So, like I said, just give you guys a quick recap of my team. For it, I got Patrick Kane, Logan Couture, Gabriel Landeskog, Nathan MacKinnon, and Ryan O'Reilly. So far for defense, I've got Alex Pietrangelo, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Ryan McDonagh. And in goal, I've got Carey Price and Petr Mrazek. So, I will post the complete team, the results of my draft in the description below. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah.